Narrator. Hello, fantastic English learners, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast's beginner series. I'm your narrator, and I'm thrilled you're joining us today. Do you remember your school days? What was your school like? What subjects did you like or dislike? Our school experiences are a big part of our lives, shaping who we are and what we learn. Talking about school is a very common and interesting topic when you're getting to know someone, or simply sharing memories with friends. It allows you to describe past experiences and talk about learning. That's why today we're focusing on talking about your school in English. Learning simple words and phrases to describe your school, your teachers, and your favorite subjects will give you a great boost in your conversational skills. In this episode, you're about to hear a natural and easy-to-follow conversation between two friends, Leo and Mia. They will talk about their different school experiences, their favorite subjects, their teachers, and what they remember most. They'll use simple English, making it easy for you to understand and start describing your own school days. After their conversation, we'll have a short, active practice session to help you use these new words and phrases yourself. Listen closely to their simple English and the useful vocabulary they use. Get ready to expand your vocabulary and practice listening just by tuning in. Let's dive into the conversation. Oh, hi Mia. How are you today? I was just looking at an old photo of my school and it made me think about my school days. Got me wondering, what was your school like, Mia? Did you go to a big school or a small school? Hi Leo. I'm doing very well, thank you. Oh, that's a nice topic. My school was called Greenwood High School. It was a medium-sized school, not too big and not too small. We had about 800 students. It was a nice school with green playgrounds and big classrooms. I went there for 6 years from age 12 to 18. It had a friendly atmosphere and I remember most of my teachers were kind. What about you, Leo? What was your school like? What was its name and how big was it? Leo, Greenwood High School sounds like a nice place, Mia. A medium-sized school with green playgrounds sounds very pleasant, and it's good that the teachers were kind. 6 years is a long time, so it must feel like a very familiar place for you. My school was called City Academy. It was a very big school with more than 1,500 students. It was in the city center, so we didn't have big green playgrounds, but we had a big sports hall inside. It was a modern school with lots of technology in the classrooms. I also went there for 6 years from age 12 to 18. It was sometimes noisy because there were so many students, but it was also very active and exciting. What was your favorite subject in school, Mia? Mia, City Academy sounds very modern and exciting, Leo. A very big school in the city center with a big sports hall. That's a different environment from my school. I can imagine it was sometimes noisy but also very active. So, my favorite subject in school was art. I loved painting and drawing. It was very relaxing for me and I liked being creative. I always looked forward to art class because it was so different from my other subjects. The art teacher, Ms. Davies, was very encouraging. I also enjoyed English because I loved reading stories. What about you, Leo? What was your favorite subject in school? Did you like math, science, or something else? Leo, art sounds like a wonderful favorite subject, Mia. Painting and drawing are great ways to be creative and relax. It's lovely that Miss Davies was encouraging. I can see why you looked forward to that class. My favorite subject in school was history. I loved learning about the past, about ancient civilizations, and about important events. It felt like reading exciting stories, but they were real. Our history teacher, Mr. Thompson, made the lessons very interesting with maps and old pictures. I also enjoyed science, especially experiments. It was fun to see how things worked. What was your least favorite subject in school, Mia? Was there any subject you didn't enjoy? Mia, history sounds very fascinating, Leo. Learning about ancient civilizations and real stories from the past must have been very engaging, especially with Mr. Thompson making it interesting. Experiments in science also sound very exciting. My least favorite subject in school was math. I found it very difficult, especially algebra and geometry. I always struggled with numbers and formulas. I tried my best, but it was always a challenge for me. I often asked my friends for help with my math homework. It was the subject I looked forward to the least. What was your least favorite subject in school, Leo? Was there any subject you found difficult or boring? Leo, Math is a challenging subject for many people, Mia, so it's understandable that it was your least favorite, especially algebra and geometry. It's good that you had friends to help you. My least favorite subject in school was English literature. I liked reading stories in English class, but I found analyzing the books and writing long essays about them very difficult. I preferred simple facts and stories, not deep analysis. Sometimes I felt like I didn't understand the hidden meanings that the teacher talked about. It was hard for me to express my ideas in long essays. What was a typical school day like for you, Mia? From when you arrived until you left. Mia, English literature can definitely be challenging, Leo, especially with the deep analysis and long essays. It's understandable if you preferred more direct facts and stories. Sounds like a lot of thinking and writing. For a typical school day, I usually arrived at Greenwood High School around 8:30 a.m. Classes started at 8:45 a.m. We had about 5 or 6 lessons each day. Each lesson was 45 minutes long. We had a short break in the morning and a longer lunch break at noon. During lunch, I usually ate with my friends in the cafeteria or outside if the weather was nice. Classes usually finished around 3:30 p.m. After school, sometimes I had extra activities, but usually I went home. So it was a full day of learning and socializing. What about a typical school day for you, Leo, at City Academy? Was it similar or different because it was a bigger school? Leo, your typical school day sounds very structured, Mia, with a good balance of lessons and breaks. Arriving at 8:30 a.m. and finishing at 3:30 p.m. is a common school schedule. Eating lunch with friends sounds like a nice social time. At City Academy, our typical school day was quite similar in structure, but maybe a bit faster paced due to the size. We also started classes around 8:40 a.m. and finished around 3:45 p.m. Our lessons were 50 minutes long. We had a morning break and a longer lunch break. During lunch, the cafeteria was always very busy because of so many students. I usually ate with my friends and sometimes we played basketball in the sports hall. After school, I often stayed for extracurricular activities like the chess club or the debate team. So, it was a full and active day with a lot of movement between classes because the school was so big. Did you participate in any extracurricular activities at Greenwood High School, Mia? Like sports, clubs, or music? Mia, that sounds very similar, Leo, with the slightly longer lessons and a busy cafeteria. Playing basketball in the sports hall during lunch sounds like a great way to use the time. And it's interesting that you stayed for extracurricular activities like the chess club or debate team. That sounds very engaging. Yes, I did participate in a few extracurricular activities at Greenwood High School. I was part of the school choir. I loved singing and we practiced twice a week after school. We even performed in concerts a few times a year, which was very fun and a bit scary. I also joined the school gardening club for a while, where we planted flowers and vegetables around the school. It was relaxing to be outside. Did you enjoy your extracurricular activities, Leo? What was it like being in the chess club or on the debate team? Leo, the school choir and gardening club sound wonderful, Mia. Singing in concerts must have been exciting, and the gardening club sounds like a peaceful way to spend time. It's great that you had those activities. Yes, I really enjoyed my extracurricular activities at City Academy. The chess club was very fun. I learned a lot of strategies and it was a quiet way to challenge my mind after noisy classes. I made some good friends there too. The debate team was more intense but very rewarding. We practiced speaking clearly and logically, and we learned how to argue different points of view. We even went to some competitions with other schools. It really helped me become more confident in speaking in front of people. Who was your favorite teacher in school, Mia? Besides Ms. Davies, your art teacher? Mia, that's great that you enjoyed your extracurricular activities, Leo. The chess club sounds like a perfect way to challenge your mind, and the debate team sounds like it really helped you with public speaking and confidence. Those are very useful skills. Besides Miss Davies, my art teacher, my favorite teacher in school was my English teacher, Mr. Harrison. He was very passionate about books and stories, and he made even difficult literature interesting. He encouraged us to read widely and to think deeply about what we read. He was also very patient and always ready to help if we struggled with an essay. He made me love reading even more. Who was your favorite teacher in school, Leo? Besides Mr. Thompson, your history teacher? Leo, that's wonderful, Mia. Mr. Harrison sounds like an excellent English teacher, making literature interesting and encouraging deep thought. Patience and helpfulness are certainly great qualities in a teacher. Besides Mr. Thompson, my history teacher, my favorite teacher in school was my science teacher, Mrs. Chin. She was very enthusiastic about science, especially physics. She always did amazing experiments in class that made us say, wow. She made difficult concepts easy to understand, and she always answered our questions clearly. She inspired many students, including me, to be curious about how the world works. She made science really come alive. Did you have a favorite spot in your school, Mia? Like the library, a certain classroom, or a place outside? Mia, Mrs. Chin sounds like an incredibly inspiring science teacher, Leo. Doing amazing experiments and making difficult concepts easy to understand are fantastic qualities. It's clear she sparked a lot of curiosity in her students, which is wonderful. My favorite spot in Greenwood High School was definitely the school library. I loved how quiet it was and it had so many books. I spent a lot of my lunch breaks there just reading or studying. It was a peaceful place where I could escape the noise of the busy hallways and find new stories. It also had big windows with a view of the green playground, which was nice. Did you have a favorite spot in your school, Leo? Maybe the sports hall, or a quiet corner in City Academy. Leo, the school library sounds like a perfect quiet haven, Mia, with so many books and a view of the green playground. It's lovely that you had a peaceful place to escape and read. My favorite spot in City Academy was the science lab. It was a modern lab with lots of equipment for experiments. I loved being in there because it felt like a place of discovery. It was where Mrs. Chin did her amazing experiments, and we often got to do our own small experiments too. It was a hands-on place where I could learn by doing, and it always smelled faintly of interesting chemicals. Did you have many friends at school, Mia? And did you spend a lot of time with them? Mia, the science lab sounds very exciting, Leo. A modern lab with lots of equipment and a place of discovery. I can imagine why that was your favorite spot, especially with the interesting experiments. Learning by doing is a great way to understand things. Yes, I had many friends at Greenwood High School and I spent a lot of time with them. My closest friends were a group of about 5 girls and we did everything together. We ate lunch together, walked to classes together, and studied together. We also spent time together outside of school, like going to the park or watching movies. Having good friends made school much more enjoyable and easier. Did you have many friends at school, Leo? And did you spend a lot of time with them outside of class? Leo, that's wonderful, Mia. Having a close group of 5 friends for everything sounds like a perfect school experience. It's clear that your friends made school much more enjoyable, which is so important. Yes, I also had many friends at City Academy and I spent a lot of time with them both in and out of class. My main group of friends were the ones I played basketball with at lunch and who were in the chess club or debate team with me. We often studied together in the library, and after school, we would sometimes go to a cafe or play video games at someone's house. Having good friends at such a big school made it feel smaller and more supportive. What was the best memory you have from school, Mia? Just one very happy memory. Mia, that's great, Leo. Having friends from your activities like basketball and chess club sounds like a fun way to connect. Studying together and hanging out at cafes or playing video games sounds like a typical happy teenage experience. It's true, friends make a big school feel smaller. My best memory from school is probably the annual school concert where our choir performed. I remember we sang a very beautiful song and everyone clapped so loudly. It felt so good to be on stage with my friends sharing our music. My parents were there and they were very proud. It was a moment of joy and accomplishment. What was your best memory from school, Leo? Something that makes you smile when you think about it. Leo, the annual school concert where your choir performed sounds like a truly magical and memorable experience, Mia. Singing beautifully on stage with friends and hearing loud applause, with your proud parents watching. That's a perfect moment of joy and accomplishment. My best memory from school is probably the annual science fair. Every year, students made science projects and we showed them to everyone. One year, my friend and I built a small robot that could draw simple shapes. It was very difficult to make, but when it finally worked at the science fair, everyone was so surprised and impressed. We won a small prize. It was a very exciting and proud moment for us, seeing our hard work succeed. Mia, Wow, building a robot that could draw shapes for the science fair sounds incredibly impressive, Leo. That must have been a huge challenge, and the moment it worked and everyone was surprised and impressed. That's a fantastic memory of success and pride. Winning a prize makes it even better. It's been really great talking about our schools today. I've learned so much about City Academy and your experiences there. Leo, yes, it has been Mia. I've really enjoyed hearing about Greenwood High School, your favorite subjects, your kind teachers, and your fun activities. It's interesting how different and similar our experiences were. Mia, it definitely is, Leo. It makes me feel a bit nostalgic for those days. Well, it was really nice talking to you about our schools. I should probably get going now. I have a book club meeting soon. Leo, of course, Mia. I understand completely. I hope your book club meeting goes well. It was really nice catching up with you and learning so much about your school life. Have a great rest of your day. Me, you too, Leo. Think about more happy school memories. See you around soon. Leo, see you, Mia. Practice session. Your turn to speak. Narrator. Alright, it's your turn to practice. I'll ask you a question about school just like Leo and Mia did. Listen to my question, then say your answer aloud. Try to use the new phrases you heard today. What was your school like? Good. Now, what was your favorite subject in school? Excellent. One more. Did you have many friends at school? Narrator. Fantastic work. Now just quickly repeat these two important phrases after me. My school was big. I liked history. Narrator. You're doing great. Keep practicing talking about your school in English. Conclusion. Narrator. Wow, you've done an incredible job today. You just practiced talking about a very personal and interesting topic, your school experiences in English. You can now confidently talk about the size of your school, your favorite subjects, your teachers, your friends, and even special memories. This is a fantastic step in your English journey. Remember to use these new phrases every day. The next time you're thinking about your past, try to describe your school days in English to yourself or a friend. Every time you practice, you're building real confidence step by wonderful step. Keep learning, keep speaking. Don't miss our next lesson in the beginner series. Goodbye for now.